Hi, welcome back to another hour with Crowder with me, your host Crowder. Like, share, subscribe, and comment. And if you're already a subscriber, go ahead and ding the bell so that you can get all of my latest podcast interviews every Tuesday. Today I have two good ass guests. My bad, you guys. I haven't had hosts in a long time, but go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the audience what you do, how you do it, all of that good stuff.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tanisha. I'm the owner of Edwards Housing LLC and the founder of Edwards Housing Incorporated nonprofit. These houses that I have, they are unlicensed and licensed group homes. We're in the DFW Metroplex. We house all different populations. We do ex-offenders, veterans, survivors of domestic violence, aged out foster, homeless population in general, and we also do we do a whole group of other people that come into the home that the shelters cannot service at the time. Basically, with the housing, we only house in the houses, but with the nonprofit, we do outsource to different services and different other community nonprofits that are in the area, as well as other companies. Okay, so we may outsource to home health companies, to the temp agencies for a lot of our individuals that it's hard to find work for them. We also specialize and offer the outsourcing to the doctors. We have psychiatrists. We have primary care physicians, for some of you that don't know what PCPs are. We also do a whole lot of serving the homeless population in general by feeding the homeless. So basically, that's a little bit about myself. I am a nurse, 20-year veteran, and been doing this for a minute. So if in fact you guys do need some housing or you need some services out in your area for the DFW Metroplex, you can look me up on Facebook. It's Edwards Housing LLC. I also have the website, edwardshousingllc.biz, or we have the nonprofit as well. We have their website, which is www.edwardshousing-inc.org. We do have an 800 number you can call to contact me. That number is on the website. We do also have a corporate office as well. That's in Arlington off of Lamar. But if you'll call me and you need some services, we will get you to the appropriate person or agencies that you need to be reached out to. So again, thank you so much for letting us be a guest here. We are excited and just happy to be here today.
And would you like to tell the audience?
Yes, my name is Miss Sandra Hart. I am the owner of Hart Referrals LLC. Been in business for 11 years. It's my for-profit company where we assist people to get home health care services, hospice, medical supplies, and resources, how to get on Medicaid, food stamps, life alerts. And then I also have a nonprofit that I've been a nonprofit organization for 2 years. It's called Hart To Home Texas. I am the resource agent to assist people on getting housing for residential care homes, assisted living, memory care, 55 and older communities, assisted living and independent living as well. So I'm part of a group called Stars of Dallas promotional team. So I do movies, TV, radio, do a lot of stuff in the community as well.
Yeah, me and you, we worked on an event together.
Yes, ma'am.
And we were talking a little bit behind the scenes about why y'all got into these fields that y'all got into.
Right.
And y'all was talking a lot about why people become homeless, because when we think about homeless people, we think about, oh, well, you're just lazy, you don't want a job. I mean, there's been plenty of people that we didn't pass up or looked forward when in the car when they at the window.
Yes.
But that's with the notion that you don't deserve my money because you also can work too. So just tell us a little bit about what you was telling us behind the scenes, because I think that was very powerful, because me, even myself, was like, I don't really care. I mean, I care about homeless people, but it's like, to give them their money. And I was one of those people that was like, you could work. If you could stand out here, you could work too.
Right. And, I don't look like it. We look like everyday people, of course, some of us that have overcome our situation. And as I was talking about earlier, of course, I have experienced homelessness. We call it hidden homelessness. That's what we normally call it. That's when you do have family members and so forth. They can't take you in. However, nobody knows that you're really homeless, because they haven't seen you. You're kind of like MIA. Some people say, oh, girl, I haven't seen you in a long time. You've been MIA. Well, a lot of times that's what's happening. And so at the end of the day, I became homeless at a very young age, okay? And so it wasn't because of anything that I did, though. I wasn't on drugs. I didn't get into a lot of trouble. At least I thought I didn't. But at the end of the day, it was because of a situation, because there was my mother, and she kind of, she had a mental breakdown. My dad is a Vietnam veteran, and he had a lot of issues with PTSD. Let's be truthful, PTSD, being a veteran, that's a lot, and he was being hospitalized like every time we looked around. So that was stressful enough, upon a parent, and you're supposed to be a two-parent house, but it's almost like you're taking care of the spouse and the kids as well in the home. So at the end of the day, she got a little frustrated and, had a mental breakdown. And mental health came in right in that area. And so mental health is real because we had it in our family, but, we never knew that it could happen to us. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you never know that these things can happen to you until it actually happens. And so with that being said, I was in a homeless shelter for, a little while, in and out, couch hopping, finding friends, going to their houses, sleeping. But, my dad, he was unable to take care of himself, let alone anybody else. And so when she left, it was just like us kids, we were on our own. So at the end of the day, I relocated to the big city lights here of Dallas.
Where did you come from?
Tyler.
Oh, Tyler.
That's Tyler, Texas. Yes, East Texas. So way out there. And so at the end of the day, I relocated. It wasn't anything there. There were no jobs. There was nothing.
Ain't
there was
like chicken, church's chickens.
They grew a little bit now.
Get out there.
Wait a minute. We had a Whataburger now. Give us a Whataburger out there. All right. And the Dairy Queen. Yeah, we had the Dairy Queen. And the Sonic, I can't remember, but it was an old Sonic, So, yeah, we had those little, jobs out there, but it really wasn't anything. You couldn't really... you couldn't succeed. You couldn't thrive out there. Being in a small town and you're homeless, and you're out here and there's nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. Schooling, I didn't get to finish schooling because I didn't have a stable address. Let's just keep it real. I couldn't go to school. They wouldn't let me. If you don't have a stable address, you cannot go to school. So I did not complete high school. So at the end of the day, no high school diploma. Nobody to really support you or advocate for you. So you're just pretty much on your own. So at the end of the day, relocated up here to the Dallas Big Lights. And, it was very exciting, coming up here. My first job that I got, and I was in North Dallas, actually. I was on Park Lane. And it was a TJ Maxx over there and a Bennigan's. I don't know if y'all remember that, but Bennigan's used to be over there around that time frame when I came in. So I got my first job over there. They hired me in as a host at Bennigan's. And so I didn't have the clothing, to really go and work. And so the manager kind of like advanced me a little money to go and buy some shoes. And, back then, you had those little shiny shoes that they had. That pennies.
Them shoes for cruise.
I love those shoes. I think 357 used to wear those shoes back then, if y'all know who 357 is. But yes, got me some shoes and got an outfit, and I started working at Bennigan's. And then at that time, he had like a condo over there off of Park Lane. So he asked if I wanted to stay in that condo because there was no one living there. So it was actually off of Holly Hill. So Holly Hill was the street. And so that was my first address up here. But he stuck out there for me. He didn't know me from nobody down here. It's just like, he was taking a chance, I guess, as all of us would say. Yeah. When we're giving out money or we're helping anybody, we're taking a chance. So at the end of the day, that's how I got started. As the years went on, I went back to school, got my GED. I had to take it 7 times because I couldn't pass it because high school. I know, right?
Congratulations,
but
for
high
real.
school, I couldn't pass it. I hadn't had any training with the algebra, all of that stuff that they had on the testing during high school. Remember, I hadn't even went, so I didn't know half of that stuff that I was doing. I did get frustrated on the 6th try, and then my little teacher, I can't remember her name, but she was a little cute little white lady, and she was so cute. She was like, "I need you to come back here tomorrow so we can do this again." I was like, I can't. I'm so frustrated at this point. I can't do it. She was the one that encouraged me that I can do anything I put my mind to. I came at that last time, that 7th time, took that test. I looked around the next week. We were supposed to come back, kind of like to follow up. She said, "What you doing here?" I said, "Well, I'm coming in like you told me to finish up and do it again." She said, "Oh, you passed." Then when I tell you that was the most, that was so exciting for me to be passed. But she had that much belief in me to make me come back and do that. It's like somebody pushed me. I didn't have that. I mean, I had it in myself, but I didn't know I could do it. I was going to give up. So then from there, the sky was the limit. Went to college, got the degree, got nursing, did all of that, started this, and then all of a sudden, God stopped me in 2012. Everything was good, okay? But in 2012, God stopped me and said, I need you to do something for me, And he closed the doors. I was going to go into the nurse practitioner program, okay? And I was so excited because that was the program I wanted. I was like, I'm getting this no matter what. I was like, yes, I'm on the road. But then he stopped it. And he wanted me to go in a different direction. But he wanted me to go in a direction of helping these kids and these older people that were homeless. And they were going through this situation. Because remember, I have to give my time for him now. Now, he didn't let me go real good, and he didn't push me and, got me where I need to be. But then he just kind of said, okay, now it's time for you to do this. I got some more people for you to work on. And so that's what I did. When I turned that corner of, turning to the right, because I didn't have nowhere else to turn but to the right, he opened that door, and this is where I ended up, okay? So that's how these homes started, okay, because God pushed me in that direction. He wanted me to do more for them that he has done for me. And I can't repay him everything that he has done. We'll never be able to repay him everything that we have, that he's done for us. But we do know that all of this that he wanted me to do, he just wanted me to go in. He wanted me to help. I started out wanting to do one population, and then he said, no, you're going to do all these populations. So it was like, okay, God, I'm getting overwhelmed. What do I do? He's like, no, you got this. Yeah. You got this. Yeah. You don't get overwhelmed. We got this. And so it's been up from there. So that's how this got started. For the homes? Since 2012.
2012.
And she got beautiful homes.
And then you've been doing your profession for 11
What
are
years.
some of the things that you come up against as a home health care practitioner?
People don't like to pay their way. So if
what do you mean by that?
So they get Social Security disability, and they'll call me and say, "Hey, I have a dog. I want to be on my own. Only make $740 a month, but they know good and well you got light, gas, rent, water, all this other stuff you got to pay for, and I want it today. So they don't want to pay their way on trying to get the resources to get it in order." A lot of them get kicked out the nursing homes because of their bad behaviors. So if they have dementia, a lot of them just won't act right, so because it's a program where they can go into the nursing home, they stay there, and after that 30 days, they can apply for Medicaid to get on the Star Plus waiver program. Long as they stay on that program.
I'm sorry, what is the waiver program?
Star Plus waiver program is a program that you can get if you're on Medicaid or Medicare. Okay. You can get on it while you're in the community, or you can get it while you're in a nursing home as well. But it's a special initiative for people to be in a nursing home to get this qualification, where they can get a grant for $2,500. That's the first grant. That's through the DADS, or if they have Molina, Superior, Mary Group here in the state of Texas. What they'll do, we'll go in there, evaluate them, and see if they are eligible to live on their own, to take care of themselves. but they probably still need a little assistance where we can get you a caregiver to cook, clean, do laundry, assist you going to your doctor's appointment, but not drive you anymore. They can't drive because of a lawsuit happened a couple years ago. But they can go ride with you on the DART bus, and they can ride with you in your car as long as you have full coverage on that car for them to go to the hospital. And plus, you know, you got the free life alerts. You call your family, Meals on Wheels, all that. So you get all this stuff. Yes. The government actually assists people with low income because I'm one of them people. I was disabled since the age of 14 in a wheelchair for 8 years. I was 279 was the last time I weighed. I was blind for a year, and I got double knee replacement when I turned 30. So I was one of the people that had to use the services. So that's how my business came about. I was neglected by my home care agency. The workers weren't coming in. They wasn't changing my diapers, so I was getting bed sores. My hair was matted to my head because they didn't comb my hair and wash my hair. So I got neglected through the system. When I found out that, hey, that if you're on Medicare or Medicaid, you can switch. I didn't know you can switch. I thought once they gave you a home care agency, you stuck with that agency. So one of my best friends that had a disability, she said, yeah, here's my company that I use. And I'm like, man, they're doing you right. I'm seeing you approve. So they sent I changed agencies, and that changed my life forever. With the physical therapist company came over and said, you know what, you're 20 years old. Let me help you get out this bed. I'm like, you know, everybody be saying you're going to walk again. I'm like, I don't believe I can walk again, you know. It's been since I was 14 years old, and, you know, you ain't walk, you know, really. So she was able, I'm going to see you last. Her name was Ayana Reed. She was a physical therapy. And then she hooked me. I got massage therapists. I had chiropractors. She had me do water aerobics. So she had me constantly moving my body because nobody was moving my body. And all it took was somebody to, you know, they had to massage me and take care of me. It was a lot of work. You know, and then changing the medications because I was misdiagnosed with lupus. That's how it all started. But I had juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. So I was aging like I was 86 when I was 14. And so they had to slow down the progress. So that's why I got so big because the only medication they knew of was steroids. So a nurse was coming over and giving me steroids in infusions for 3 days every month.
So it seems like both of you guys ended up getting into the professions that are the organizations that y'all run because y'all was actually in the situation that y'all ended up helping now. But while we're on, you said something about why homeless people are homeless, and you gave a big description of why they can be homeless. Mm-hmm. But we touched a little bit on the mental health part of it.
Right.
And mental health is one of them. And you was telling me about how sometimes they let people out too early. Right. And that's really funny because that happens in California on Skid Row. That was the main reason why Skid Row even became Skid Row, because I forget the president, but he's the one who was letting all the people out of the crazy houses, not thinking that they at that time they couldn't.
It was trying to help them.
Yeah, they couldn't understand that, like.
Well, because you got to think about it. So, like Tyler, Texas, they have the Institution for Mental Illness, and they was, you know, locking up for long term. You know, but the people didn't have a voice. But once you get these cell phones and you're able to start recording what's going on and behind the scenes, you know, they ask them to get a phone in there. And these workers are raping these children because they ain't got no voice. Nobody never really cared about them. It even happened like in a disabled world where the family, you know, they put them in institutions as well. You know, because they couldn't walk, they couldn't read, they couldn't, you know, so it was like a whole different world for us as well for being, we end up being mental patients a lot of times with our disabilities because our families don't know how to handle us. They're trying to do a 9 to 5 and they ain't got time for us.
Right.
And for the people with mental illness, you're fighting your parents, you're cussing out, you're acting up bad at school. So all we knew back then is to put them in Turl State Hospital here in Texas and lock them up. And that was like the best thing. You go visit them every 2 weeks or once a month and stuff like that. And they are probably telling you, hey, Mom, this is going on with me. And you think they just want to tell you that because they want to get out. Actually, they're not crazy. These things are happening to them. Right. So mentally, they get physically abused in these locations. So, but we, as a profession, we got hurt because of that. Because now here in Texas, we don't have somewhere that they can be really looked after by long term for doctors. Right. These long-term facilities, because some of them are not people that can function in the real world. That this mental illness is something serious. We just went through a series where I've been taking care of a lady for 2 years. She came from the bridge. She was 20 years old. I had her when she turned 19. She aged out of foster care, and they said, she don't belong here. She needs somebody to love, somebody to really put their hands. I'm like, I never did a child this young. I always do 55 and older. I never did anybody this young. They said, Sandra, whatever you do for them, just try for her. I was like, okay. She needed a payee, so I became her payee representative. So I paid all her bills. But when I got her, I seen something special in her. I took her from the time I got her. So let's take pictures and see who you are and all that stuff. And I took her to Wynwood Shopping Center. I got her clothes because she had the little mini afro that haven't been combed in a while. She had clothes that was donated to her. It's winter. It was summertime. She had winter clothes on, so it was hot. And then she wasn't groomed and bathed. You can smell the stench and all that stuff. So I said, well, let me do this. Before I take any of my patients to my homes, I go take them shopping. I go get the hair, the makeup, whatever needs to be done, and then take them to the home. And then go get their toiletries, because I want them to go in the house feeling some kind of secure. Don't just drop them off and say, I don't have any clothes, I don't have any shoes, I'm homeless. I don't have that. So that's why my nonprofit exists, to be able to donate and raise money to place people in these homes with the necessary things to have in a home. But she struggled from the time she got with me with people. She wasn't a people person. And so we end up just losing her on she committed suicide because the hospital let her go. She cut her wrist. She was at Parkland Hospital. She cut her wrist, and Parkland Hospital called me the same day and say, hey, we're letting her out tomorrow. She's doing good. We're going to let her out. I'm like, no, me and Tanisha, I'm begging. But Tanisha got on the phone saying, hey, tell them what you said, Tanisha, how you got. She was a whole different level. I'm telling her, no, please don't let my baby out.
I was from a nurse standpoint. I'm on the phone with them, and I'm telling, and I'm practically like we're doing, begging them. Like, don't let her out. Anybody that has went through and had those commands talking to them for suicide, because that wasn't the first time that she had tried to harm herself. Right. The first time she had ate glass. I read her report. So when I told Sandra to send me the report, when I wanted to, because Sandra wanted to place her with me, I said, no, she needs to be in a more institutionalized type of facility. The homes are not going to be able to take care of her. And I guess Sandra probably thought, I didn't know what I was talking about at that point. No, I knew
what she was talking about, because it was my 12th move with her.
Yes.
My 12th move with her. So fighting my workers, pulling their edges out, tearing up property. She even went to jail for beating up the residents.
Now, the problem with with all of that being said, like, how do y'all combat that? Like, getting mental patients. Do you accept mental patients in your houses?
Mm-hmm. But she did.
I accept them, but I have to do a lengthy intake on them. And meaning that I got to, since I've worked in the department for psychiatry, and clinical research, we had a lot of patients that come in that we would experiment with psychiatric meds. So with that being said, a lot of times you look at, what's the diagnosis, do they have multiple personalities? Some of these people come in and they're multiple personalities. They may have 6 and 7 different personalities. Exactly. And you've got to know how to triage these personalities. Because if you don't, there's always that one personality that wants to fight. That doesn't want to obey the rules. They don't want you taking them nowhere. And you've got to be creative with that. You've got to know how to deal with them. You've got to know how to stare them in the face, because a lot of times their voices change, tone, their looks change. We had people that I kid you not, when you would see them change, they would yawn. That would be a change. That would be a sign of them changing, because every time they would yawn, a different personality, you'd be like, oh, Lord, who is this? And and so then you would see something that would roll their eyes in the back of their head. Like, and Sandra knew, and like they're having a seizure. And then they would just switch up. You know, it could be from happy, it could be sad, it could be whatever, but you learn to stay your distance. You never go right up on that patient. You stay kind of far away from probably to that door over there to where I am sitting, and you keep that distance. Why? Because they've got 10 times to 20 times as much strength as you, okay? And you've always got to keep the police on speed dial. When I had a lot of these mental patients that would come in, I would call the police because I want the police to see this, because a lot of times we'd have to get the police to do a detention warrant. There was one patient that Sandra referred, and nobody thought that she was like this. And see, they have that manipulative type of personality. Nice. They manipulate everybody. Oh, she was like on the phone. She was so sweet. She was. But then when we got her to the house, it was like Dr. Jekyll and Dr. I said, who is this? And when you see her on the camera in the living room, like you could tell the personalities had changed, because the person that I brought into the house, she was on a walker, okay? But the person that I saw on the camera, she was walking like a gangster.
She had a whole gangster lean walk with her.
I mean, she had a all black. She had showers. She had her hair back. And I was like, who is this? She had took off her wig and everything. So it was a whole different person. So you have to know how to come to that different personality. So with that being said, yes, I do take them, because in reality, let's be honest. Everybody out here has got a touch of mental illness.
Yeah, that's what I always say. And that's why when we was talking, see, we said a lot of stuff behind the scenes, but when we were talking about stuff behind the scenes and how you have to kind of not babysit, but you kind of got to keep a tight leash on the guys or the girls at your institutions and stuff. And the top 3 reasons why people kill themselves is for mainly financial reasons, and mental health is the second, and I forget the third.
Getting their medication.
Yeah,
they're addicted now to the medication. That's what mine's was. Mine's had plenty of money. She had plenty of money. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, because I just put her up. What's the Lorenzo's?
Lorenzo Hotel.
Lorenzo. I paid. Yeah, I put.
How did she get that money?
Her foster parent passed away. So she was already getting Social Security disability, like $740. Then her foster dad died, so she was starting to get like these big lump sum of $2,900 every 3 months, you know. And so it was like all these money, and they like, you got to spend this money before the next lump come in, you know. Mm-hmm. And so, but because she was moving all the time, I always had to pay $700 here, then she lose everything. I got to go buy new clothes and new shoes. But so happened that I built the relationship with my houses. I can go get every item, you know. So I had started learning to, you know, deal with her different personalities, because she was sweet and kind to me, but I didn't know she was talking behind my back. You know? I didn't know that. I was like, and then they'll call me and say, hey, Miss Sandra, you know, she think you in Florida with her money. I said, yeah, I got her money, but I ain't spending her money. I got my own money. And so she'll ask for, you know, allowance of $400 or some $300 some dollars. Yeah. And at first I'm like, wait a minute, where's she going with this money? And then I found out, you know, she got some drug addict friends. She didn't smoke. She didn't drink. She had friends who was homeless, and she had the most caring heart, where she started getting them in a hotel and spending money on them, you know, because she had it. So it's really, majority of the homeless people have a lot of money. Majority of mine be making like $3,000, $1,000, $1,500. They don't know how to spend their money.
Yeah, and that's the point that I was trying to get on when I was talking about finances being like one of the reasons why people kill themselves, because before they kill themselves, then, you know, they might be in a situation where they was in a housing situation, like what you do, and you just end up pretty much going downhill from there. And, that's like the thing with the whole like stock market type of guy. He jumps off the building. It's finances. Yeah. Like we always talk about how people could work, they could do this, they could do that, but we never really give solutions. And people always say, oh, well, it's resources out there, but we never really give them
The
The
research.
re-
Yeah,
like
but
the
well, mine's,
resources.
I hold my hands. I took her from day one to get that clothes, hair, shoes to the next day. We at the financial literacy class, taking 3 classes a night, and I'm sitting in that class with her because I know she don't know her finances. I don't
Right.
know she don't know about life insurance and death insurance. And then I do a whole power attorney. I do like, hey, do you want to be a donor? Do you want a funeral? I'll just sit there and do the whole 9 yard. Try to do that in the first, second day, because I have to move on to another person that really need my help. And then I pass them on to my residential care homes. And I only do that to the ones that I do the payee for. But the ones, because they take over and do everything, I get the home care involved, or if they on hospice or need respite care, I get the medical team involved so I don't have to do it alone. Because everybody say, how do you do what you do? Because I'm taking over 30 patients a month or
Right.
more. Okay, so I'm moving pretty quick. And plus, I got my nightlife. I didn't give up my nightlife because of my business. I had to do something to de-stress myself because I'm taking care of people with some serious problems.
Yeah.
And then I had to, I have to make them feel like it's not a problem, not an issue. And I show them how to fix that issue, how to work through it without overstressing them. Because that high anxiety, that's like the number one thing that they have that real, I can't do this. Oh, baby, here, I'm going to show you. Just calm down. And I sit down and have a computer. They have a computer. And I can, let them fill that paperwork out because you got to start forcing these people to do what they think they cannot do. And
That's what she was saying about her guys, that most of it was just from financing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That-
Most of it is. It's just from financing. And so a lot of times, like we say, they go out, you see their cars with all these lottery tickets. They think that they can come up, off of lottery tickets, and they'll go and they'll buy $50 and $60 worth, and so therefore they've got some habits. There's a lot of habits that they have that are still there that probably was one of the reasons why they're in the situation that they're in and why they're not with their parents or wherever they used to stay because of the habits. Some of them they drink.
Yeah,
okay?
the drug habit.
They got the smoking. They got other stuff on the side. And then they got the gambling. Okay, that's too many habits right there. And they're trying to find somewhere to stay, or they're trying to stay in a hotel. Hotels are costing you, for a week. I think one guy was talking about like they charge like $1,000 a week or something like that.
Oh, he must have been at the Budget Inn or something.
That budget suite.
Yeah,
Yes.
Budget Suite.
And so, but at the end of the day, they're all in a deficit because they can't manage their money because they're not spending it right. And so when they come into the homes, just like she was saying, when they're referred to us to the residential care homes, then we require you. That's mandatory because a lot of these homes that they get these people, they don't look at their finances. They just look at, they're getting paid, but they don't go and actually try to help that individual. Yeah. We help you because we want to see you better have $500 sitting in that savings account.
Exactly.
We have a banker that opens up accounts. So for the people that were going to those check cash in places that don't have any account or bank account, we help you open up a bank account because you need a bank account.
That's the first thing I do.
That's the first thing. And then from there, we make sure that you're putting away the majority of your money, okay? Because you need it. What else are you spending it for? And then we try to taper those habits down. Now, we know that you can't give away all of your habits,
Especially cigarettes.
So the cigarettes is always a number one thing. They want to keep the cigarettes. Okay, that's fine. But you better have at least over $500 saved. Then we help you get your cars and so forth and, and get back on your feet. But you have to follow the program in order to become self-sufficient. And it's all about structure, and it's all about making sure that you are taming yourself again. Right. They got to train themselves to do that.
Tell them about your transportation services with your particular company you work with.
With the transportation, we have a transportation service, which that's another LLC. So we outsource to that transportation company. So we have like a Toro where we have cars they can rent. Okay, you rent a car. You also, if you don't want to drive, because we got some that don't know how to drive and they ain't got their license yet, we also take you where you need to go. Okay, so we do charge a fee for that because you got to learn, because even when you leave the housing, you're going to have to pay a fee for Uber. Now, we're a lot more cheaper than Uber,
right?
But at the end of the day, you getting back from your A to B. You going to work and from work, and we're getting you there and back into. And so we do have that. We also have where we go to the auctions and we buy cars, and we can also get you a car. So if you don't want to do the leasing, or you don't want to have us drive you to work and you want your own car, and we mainly wait until after we see a big, large amount in your savings account first. We don't have you go out and try to buy a car and you only got 1,000 sitting there, because a car auction.
Yeah, you're not gonna get much for 1,000.
Yeah,
you're just not.
And we find them good cars. They have really good cars, and they're on it. So, I mean, that's what we have. We have those three things that are set up in place for them.
And then she got a program for her women. So these women need to go to work in her homes.
Women, those are the ones that I struggle with the most with, because I've been to a halfway house. I think everybody knows that I've been to, prison or whatever, or jail or whatever. And you was talking about structure. The structure is a big part when you're transitioning back into the free world,
right?
Because when you don't have that structure, and that's one of the things that, once again, we were talking about behind the scenes that we should have saved for this, but I wasn't looking at y'all, I was just looking at the camera. But the structure. I was telling y'all a little bit about how I went to Safe P, and I was a drug addict and all of that stuff,
right? Because
I didn't really have a lot of structure growing up, so. And that's when we got on the conversation of therapy.
Right.
How therapy is kind of like a hit and miss, honestly. It either works for you or it don't. Me personally, NAAA meetings didn't work for me.
Right.
They just didn't. It's like a bunch of war stories when you go in there and go to those meetings sometime, depending on which one you go to. Yeah. And I got the most structure and when I was in jail. So when I got out, then a lot of that stuff just kind of transferred over into the world.
Right.
And I think that's what a lot of your guys, like you said, they don't get in trouble. They don't do anything. No. They're straight-laced now. They just don't want to get in trouble. And I felt that because when I got out, I was like, I just don't want to get in trouble anymore.
Yeah. Right. And they do. They come in and, they're nervous. They're antsy at first, and who would be? Because you're not really sure. When you come out and you go to these homes, you may have people that may not want you there for a long time. And my homes are like, it's pretty much going on your pace, okay? So if you're not ready to be out there in the real world by yourself, then it's fine. You can stay as long as you need to. So you can do long-term or short-term, just whatever you prefer. I don't push people out because sometimes people, it may be too fast for them. Mm-hmm. They may have to go at a slower pace to catch up, because remember, they've been locked away for so long. So when they come out, like I said, I help them make sure they get to their parole officer's office, make sure they're getting there on time. We keep them structured to that point because, they got to make sure they go and report. We make sure they're paying their fees. We make sure they're staying away from the crowd that they probably want to go back to.
Yeah.
Right.
But at the end of the day, they stay really humble, and they get very comfortable with you after they start getting to know you. And like they've been with me for so long till they're just like, okay, we know how Miss Edwards is. Miss Edwards wants a clean house, and I want the best for them. I want the best for all of them.
So do you provide therapy services? Because
yes.
we already know, like,
yes.
one of the big reasons of recidivism is no job and mental health.
Yes, we provide therapy. We have therapists that come out to the home. Right now they're doing the virtual because of COVID, because, they can't do it per the insurance, so they're seeing them on virtual. But they do get the therapy that they need, and they have the jobs. Ms. Edwards makes sure when they come out, they got a job, okay? So a lot of them, their backgrounds, they may not be able to get hired on at these companies or these warehouses because they're still fresh new coming out. And so they may say, well, no, ma'am, we can't hire them. Their background has to be 7 or 10 years old, or which they can't have certain ones on there.
Which I feel is a cop-out because
right.
It's like, we've already done our time.
Right.
We've already paid our debt to society, staying in jail all those many years only for us to get out and still serve time, whether it's probation or not getting a job. And that's one of the reasons why people go back to the streets, and another reason why, like, the homeless shelters, because I have a friend that is homeless. I don't think she's homeless anymore. I think she got up out of it, but she would go to these shelters and they would require her to either be on drugs or be clean. And I was like, wait a minute, hold up. So you want them to be on drugs to be here, or then you go to another one and it's like, oh, no, you got to be clean. So it's like, where do you go? Especially if you ain't got no car and you just walking around to all these shelters.
Right. Well, I know that a lot of times they'll call me directly. They'll find my number on that shelter's listing, because I'm under the shelterlistings.org. So a lot of times I get a lot of people that'll call me that way. And then I also get a lot of referrals from mamas. From a mama to another mama, they always have sons coming out of, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. So they will refer that mama to me. And then what I do is a lot of times I don't let them go to the shelter because, yes, you are correct. The shelters, sometimes they will accept you, but it just depends on their criteria, okay? So when they come to me, what I do is I talk about your background. We talk about what Miss Edwards likes and what she doesn't like. I look at it. Sometimes it is very, extensive of what they've done. They may have some rap sheets. It's like 3 or 4 or 5, 6 pages. But at the end of the day, I don't look at that. I'll look at, okay, I know that you are 50-something years old. You've done your time. Let's give you a try. And let's see what we can do. I know when they come into the program where I am, they making progress. I've got men right now, they can show you over $2,000 sitting in their account. Why? Because Miss Edwards makes sure she stays on them. They can show you that they got a job. Why? Because I got those people that are out there hiring these people that cannot go up in those companies and get hired. Because those mamas, when they call me, they stress to me because they're crying on the phone. Yeah. And they're saying, my baby, I don't want him to go back. I want to see what can I do. Miss Edwards, he done went back for the second time because he couldn't get no job.
Yeah.
So what I do is I listen to those mamas and I listen to their cry and their plea. And what I do, I just go out there and I network and I get those people and I say, hey, you bring my people on, I got you some people, right. And we'll make sure they get to that job site, whether we got to arrange some type of transportation with you. We've had some rehabbers that work way over in South Dallas. Well, he'll come pick my boys up, or my men, not boys. And he'll come pick them up and he'll take them to South Dallas and then he'll bring them back to me. He pays them on a daily basis. We have landscapers that also pay them. So we got jobs for them. And then what I do is I go out there and I partner with some of these companies and I say, look, you do this for me, I'll make sure these people get to this job. And I don't even ask for anything. I just want to make sure that my men got somewhere to go. They got somewhere to work, that they are going to be hired on, not sitting there and taking the application and then say, well, let me see. No, we don't need no let me see. We need some, can we do it or can we not? Because I have a brother that's came out of prison. Yeah. So that's why this is crucial too. Because this helped with him as well. Because that's why I went out here and strategically put these programs together. Because not only was I homeless, he came out, the prison system. He had been locked up since he was 18.
So he has no skills. That's why I'm really big on prison reform.
Right.
I think that they should be learning trades. They shouldn't be making fucking license plates. What? There's no license plate warehouses here in Texas, I don't think. So it's you're making them do. I mean, if you do license plates and you get out and get a job doing license plates, fine. But everybody out in the jail system ain't getting no damn license plate job.
Right.
So it's okay, teach them how to weld, teach them how to carpentry, teach them, I don't think I said that word right, teach them carpentry. Teach them things that they can get out here and it's hands-on. I've noticed with a lot of people that go to jail, including myself, is that we're doing stuff too fast. We don't really like a lot of paperwork unless you're in the feds and, you did some big number crime, then you love paperwork and numbers. Mm-hmm. But for the lower people that just go to state or go to some rehab prison program or something like that, we're more hands-on. So that's why when I got out, I automatically got I got me a job and then I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Because I can't work at fucking Browns for the rest of my life. So what's up? And then that's when I started looking up trade programs and I got 2 trades now, and we're better in those fields. People that go to jail, they want to do something that's productive.
Right.
So when you take that productivity away from them, school don't teach you anything productive. It does, but it's not hands-on. You remember in school for science, you dissect stuff and the teacher would make a big deal about the science project, and now it's just cardboard and, cutouts that you put on a core board and that's it for the science project.
Right.
And so we teach our kids really early on about not being productive and hands-on.
Right.
The school system, that's another thing, the pipeline to prison, school to prison pipeline. We teach our kids at a very early age to just be workers and that's it. And a lot of kids stray away from that, and those are usually the ones that get into drugs and prostitution and they end up going to jail. So I think that if they're going to reform it right, and start putting trades in the jail. Don't just have them, now get your GED if you don't got it, but after the GED, it shouldn't just be you sitting around and playing
video games.
Dominoes on the made up table and shit. Like, you got to get them to the point where they can actually make it out here.
Right.
But because a lot of those trades will hire you. I'm a 2-time felon. One of them got dropped. But I've noticed that I could try to go get me a job at a fast food restaurant like Chipotle, and they'll be like, But I go fill out an application to drive a truck, and they're like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They need y'all right now.
And that's why I'm opening up my own services, trucking company, so that I can hire black felons, because men and women in Class B, like, I'm going to teach them how to drive the truck, and it's just a Class B. It's not anything. If you can drive with Class B, if you can drive a U-Haul, you could drive a Class B.
My friend right now, she's been begging me, do I know somebody can drive her trucks? They go to New York and stuff like that. So I'll be like you can be a staffing company for their company, as you growing to get your money. Mm-hmm. I know they get, like she said, like $2,500 to $5,000 a trip, and you get a percentage. So I was like, okay, I need somebody to staff for them kind of trucks right now. And then I met a guy at Letitia Scott event where she did young entrepreneurs. So these people are their father or mother are in prison, and so she take them to the prison to see their families, keeping family connected. And then, so what she did is, all these kids are called now Boys and Girls in Blue, and they have jobs now. They create their own business. So they was selling hats, clothes, shoes, jewelry. One girl was selling stuff for like mace. I bought the mace. And one girl did lip gloss. So they all had their posters up. It was beautiful to see that these young entrepreneurs, and they do all these pop-up shops to make their own money. Plus, they do financial literacy classes for these kids. So she make them open up a bank account. When they do these pop-ups, she make them reinvest themselves for that project. They had to pay her to be a vendor that day. Yeah. So what she do with that money is put it in a bank account. It's not she spending it. She invested it for the next project, and whatever jobs are, anything that's available for them, they on top of it. And it's so cute and nice. I love it.
And that's what we need to start doing, because
start with the babies.
Yeah, start very young, because our schools is already teaching them just how to be workers. Like my mom, when I was growing up, your first 2 paychecks, or like a month worth of paychecks, was yours. I was getting paid every other week, so I had 2 paychecks.
Right.
That was completely mine. After that, here's a bill.
Yeah, give him the bill. Yes.
But a lot of people these days will be like, oh no, I ain't letting my kid get nothing out of mud. Like, that really low key molded me, because I'm really good with money now.
Right.
I'm not frugal, but I'm cautious about how I spend my money now.
Right.
And I think that's where we need to start, right there, like teaching your kids how money work, how to make your money work for you. Because like I said in the beginning, half the reason why people end up going to jail in the first place is because of money.
And then I'm looking at, I got a family right now. They are 52. One is 52. One is 54. They're living with their parents. Don't pay bills now, but they get income coming in from Social Security disability. 52 and 57. Still living with their parents, and they never paid any bills. You can see that they got a mental illness. You can see they got physical disability, but they're making income. They still need to be paying a gas, electric, water, or something to mama. Yeah. Give me something for taking care of you all. What they did, they got cable, the highest, the premium channels, you know, and they still got mama paying that bill.
And that's why we talk about the enabling.
Exactly.
You know, because if the mama is shielding them or daddy or whoever, and they're not paying a bill, how are you making them responsible?
But this is the consequences behind it. The father that owned the house, he died. Wow. And he did a reverse mortgage on the house. Only his name is on there. No wife is on the house. No children's on the house. It's just him. Yes, mom was there to fill out the application, but no, mom is not on that paperwork. So mom and the mother three, everybody got to go. Everybody got to go now. So now I'm helping them transition into packing up all this stuff since 1970 something, and they hoarders, packing up that stuff and looking for an apartment for them. And they all want to live together. But when that mom died, the bad part is the other two are only bringing in $800 a month together combined. They're not going to be able to live in the apartment that I'm going to move them into. That's probably $1,000 some dollars or $1,200 or $1,300 a month. Because so I have to say, okay, I know if I get you right now to get on Star Plus waiver and get you a housing voucher, we're going to take your whole entire check for $80 because I'm going to put you in assisted living. Because the government it's going to be a $2,900 facility you stay in, where they're going to make sure you have your meals, you're going to have your own efficiency, but they're going to take your whole entire check. You're like, I don't want that. I don't want that. But then you got to make some. You got to make something. And I said, it's better because mom is 79. Mom about to die like daddy pretty soon. I'm looking at mama health. She's barely making it, and this is stressful for her. Yeah. So y'all better get on some kind of assistant program to get this housing while you're eligible now.
Yeah, a lot of people don't take...
Because it's going to be 10 years.
Yeah, a lot of people don't take advantage of all of these resources out here. That's why, honestly...
Or don't know about it either.
Yeah, don't know about it mostly.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the ones that is knowledgeable of this information, they still don't be
just
wanting to do it.
They want somebody else to do it.
Yeah, they want somebody else to do it, and that's why I'm like, no, you got to teach your kids young to be independent, because I moved out at 16 because I was so independent, because I knew how to budget my money, because I knew every time I got paid, I got to give my mom $100, and that was $200 a month, which is small bread, you know. Right. But one last question before we wrap up. We, like in the beginning, I said, we love to tell people what they should do, what they should have done, and all of this other things. And you guys are really knowledgeable. Y'all have resources and everything. What is somebody like me that don't have no resources could give to the community like you're doing? Like, what could I do as a person that doesn't have the connects that you have but still want to help the homeless or help the disabled? Yeah. Because I don't got no license and I ain't got no connects. So what can I do?
You can refer them to my company, Hart Referrals. They can go refer. Don't do the hard work. Don't even think. Say, you know what? I know somebody. Call Miss Sandra. Don't even think about it. Just call Miss Sandra. You got the resource now. That one number, 972-869-1185, or visit me at heartreferrals.com, LLC.com. But tell them about people like me. We got the resources. We want to help. We're going to be better than 211, the state numbers, because we're very hands-on, because we experience it, and we know I have the back numbers that I can get in the door easier and get you that opportunities. I give you housing, I get you clothing, I get you toiletries, I get your hair and makeup. We do everything to make you be who you want to be. So all I need is your dream. You tell me your dream, your desire, and I'll make it happen. Because you know you can't do it. It's too stressful for you. So you got somebody that hold your hand. I do it pretty fast. And they're like, man, how you do this so quick? I've been trying for 30 years or 50 years. And you did it in 2 months or 2 days or 3 days. It's because I have the willingness to just take care of people's needs and wants and desires. And I don't let them get me no more excuses. I'm like a no excuse zone. I'm going to let you give it to me, feed it to me, and then I'm going to take it away from you and do what I need to do to make things happen for you. And it's a free service. You might as well take advantage of it. Exactly. I'm helping you for free. I don't ask for anything. When they said, man, I know the state paying you, I said, no. I do this because God told me. I asked God, if you ever let me walk again, I will help another person. That's all. That was that one thing I asked God for. Let me walk again. And I'm dyslexic. I cannot read. I cannot write. but I found resources, how to cell phones, anything that technology. I went to college and I had to use, a book to scan to read the books for me. So I'm the type of person said I had excuses when I wasn't able to go to school and read and write and turn myself over, wear diapers and all that stuff. I then when somebody showed me how to do it, I took them life skills and used it for myself, and I use it for help other people. So I'm kind of like, and I tell my story to them, and then they right there it clicked. For some reason, it clicked to them and say, if you can do it, I can do it, and I'm more able-bodied than you are. And then they see me struggling. Some days I can't walk. I'm on a walker or a cane because of my disability. My disease that I have is an ongoing progress that I'm going to have for a long time. So that's my thing, that sometimes it have to be the people that live in them shoes to help the people that that need some help. And because the people in the office, they social workers, they book sense. And they ask me, how do I know what I know? Because I had to live it first.
Yeah, we had to live it.
Live it to get the resources that we need.
Now, I do want to ask one last question, because this is the one that everybody's kind of like skittish about, resources and organizations and associations and stuff like that. Nonprofit. Yes. How do you guys make your money to keep doing what you're doing? Because we know things like Blue Cross Blue Shield, a couple of scandals came out on them a couple of years ago with them taking more money and not giving it over. Them commercials in Africa where the flies be on the baby face, and then you figure out that they ain't even gave them no damn
not
shoes.
The flies.
But all of that, like, that's what made me stop giving to charities and stuff like that, because I was like, okay, they still in the same predicament they was 10 years ago.
They need to change that music.
Yeah,
I'm tired of hearing that music.
They donate. My clients donate more to the SBA than the humans. I'll be laughing. I'm like, y'all have all this money coming out for these dogs and cats, but we're gonna stop doing that one.
But it's all about the donations. It's donations that we get. I get donations from the shelters. We get donations pretty much from everybody. But they see the work. They see us out there working. You even see me working. Yeah. Some nonprofits, you don't see none of the founders working.
Exactly.
You see the people, the volunteers, but where's the founder? Mm-hmm. Oh, honey, I be out there. When we out there walking them camps for the homeless, or we're doing events, I'm out there. Why? Because I want to be hands-on. Because I want to show them that, look, not only do we have this nonprofit to help the people that need some volunteering service, like the ex-offenders, community service, they need that. So a lot of times they'll come on board, and we do have event staffers that staff us, like at the AT&T Stadium, and then they pay us to come in and work those events. Right. So we do get paid for events like that, and that goes back into the nonprofit. We pay memberships for our nonprofit. So every board member that's on my nonprofit, we pay the membership back into the nonprofit. I'm a board member on United Way of Tarrant County. So I have like over 300 nonprofits that will also donate as well. So
I need
that's
a
how
hook
we
up.
get.
I'm going to link up with both of y'all after this.
Yeah.
But that's how we get most of our stuff, is through donations. And then Sandra, she might get some a little bit more different than me on my end.
Yeah. So by me working in the community, like on Facebook Live, my first donation was on Facebook, that neighborhood. I started there, and they go see me doing the work. They see me working with other foundations like McQueen Foundation. They see me feeding the homeless, and so they'll send like $10 or $20. They don't never send anything big. Yeah. And all I do is save. I'm a good saver. Mm-hmm. And then every paycheck that I get, when I get money, it's $2,000 to $3,000 to $5,000. If whatever money I make, if I get a $2,700 check from my personal business, I already paid my bills already. I'm putting that in my nonprofit on the side to make sure, because I got to do some major work.
Right.
I got to get clothes, shoes, toiletry, and I'm not taking them to go to no dollar store and get no little bitty stuff. So I really need more people to donate to my company. So some lady gave me clothing. She gave me 12 bags of BBW clothes, because we always do for the man. We hardly do anything for these women out here. Mm-hmm. A lot of times the women say, y'all don't do anything for us. Y'all always do everything for the man. But like Tanisha, she want her women to work, so she's going to have a daycare for these babies that these women have. So, you know, we trying to figure out solutions of all these problems for these women to still to work and she have a daycare.
That's why I was like, I'm more so concerned about the women in the homeless shelters and being homeless and transitioning, because it is a harder time for women because we have so many more obstacles than men. Men, they could just go
Get the job.
Women, they have to worry about their kids. They have to worry about being presentable. I mean, a man could shave off all his head. He's good for like a month or so.
Right.
A woman has to actually present herself
So-
in a way to actually even get the job.
Yeah.
Right.
And so we have a friend named Sheila, Sophisticated Seconds, where it's a women boutique. I take my people up there and let them go shopping in her boutique. She got from 0 to, I think 5X is the biggest size that she had. But she got clothes, shoes. And what they did, they, like people that want to go back to job and they want to look presentable, because Neiman Marcus, Ross, Target, I mean, they got fur jacket. I mean, we can make you look beautiful by going in her shop. And because they giving them brand new clothes, they season change. So they are donating stuff to her nonprofit.
Right.
So we partner with other nonprofits to make things happen. It's not about the money for us, because like mine's, I ain't getting the money. I put more money in my business than anybody ever gave me.
And we go in and help out in the boutique
Yeah.
as well. My
Yeah.
boys have been
She
in
clean
there. We've been putting tags on clothes. So yes,
Yeah, go
we
help.
go and we help. you
So
know.
it's by partner up with other businesses,
Right.
Other nonprofit organizations that and trusting people. Because in this business you can't trust everybody. Because they want to come in your business and they try to figure out how you're doing your business.
So that they could go do it themselves.
Do it themselves or try to steal your money.
Yeah, instead of just partnering with you and making a greater impact with a group, they want to go off and go do it themselves.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most downfalls, and I'll just end on this note, but I think that's one of like the major downfalls of like us not being able to help the homeless like we should, because everybody wants to shine.
Yeah.
Right.
Everybody wants the money. Nobody really want to do like the work of God.
Yeah, and so people was so scared of me about me being a disabled person, not able to defend myself if I even try to get a knife to stab somebody.
You need a gun, girl.
I can't shoot. I cannot hit the trigger. I can't even do that. So I just have faith in God to say, protect me, because I'm dealing with sex offenders, and I do not judge them because they tell me I'm a sex offender. I don't get scared, because I don't show them that fear. You know, all I do, I see you as a human being that need a chance, and somebody, it's just one person that need to give them a chance. And I house them. I go get them, make sure that the person that I house them with, you got some resources to make sure, hey, this one, he got a mental illness. Take him to Metro Care tomorrow. He don't have Social Security disability, but can he stay at your house? He can clean up and be your caregiver at this house. He can cook and clean, and then he can start making some money.
Right.
So I be trying to find solutions for every single problem, but I can't help everybody, you know, because of their situations.
Right.
Because they might be disabled. I can't help them get that job because of their disability.
And just to end that note, you know, God protects us.
Yeah.
We call ourselves the chosen ones. He has us out there doing the work, and he will always provide what we need, and he will always protect us when we are out there. So we don't never fear when we go out there. It's just like we family, because you know, like I said, I've been out on the street, so it's just like that's my family out there on the streets. But you do have people that do target nonprofits that want to take, but instead of them partnering and wanting to help the community together and make a difference. But at the end of the day, not everybody is built like you are.
For sure.
Trust. You got to trust.
Yes.
Trust people. Or you going to, I'm the type of person, I'm going to give you 100% trust till you mess me over.
Right.
Once you mess me over, you might mess me over 2, 3, 4 times, because I do let people do that to me. But my main goal is to keep going and striving for my will of God, because I did some wrong. So I know that I have to pay God back for my wrongdoing in this world. And so just trust. I want you to trust in yourself, and you told me you want to help them. I want you to do that. Don't just speak on it and think about it this year. Before 3 months, you should be ready. we can help
It's
you.
so funny that
we're
you
gonna
said that
make you
because-
do this
Because
before
I
the
said
end of
in
this
September,
year.
that's when we're supposed to be getting the trucks. That's 3 months away.
Well, there you go. Claim it.
And then and 3 months away, and then I hook you up with somebody in this business that
And I
that
send some
need
people to
worker,
you.
and she have workers driving for you. Just call us. You got our numbers now.
There you go.
We
sure.
if we got to do phone calls, because me and her, she's getting me back on track. You know, my business been in business for 11 years, but I'm not on track. I have to refocus myself. So you always need somebody that's willing to help, and we willing to help you.
And I'm willing to help with y'all together.
Let's take it. Let's work together.
That's
as a
what it
team.
is.
Yes.
And that's
Girl
where-
power.
And that's where we gonna end, ladies. You guys were wonderful. Y'all gave a lot of great information, because I know that the problem of homelessness has arisen in Texas.
Yes.
And it's almost to the point where it is in California right now. So y'all coming up here, spreading that knowledge, giving those gems to the city is going to help a lot of people. I hope a lot of people watch this episode, because we all know somebody or then seen somebody every day that's on the corner. I see people all the time on Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just ride by, and now I can get them a card. I can get them these cards.
Yes.
Right.
Hey, hit up my ladies. They can help you get off this corner.
Right.
You know, so.
And we are willing and able to do that for them.
Yes.
They just give us a call. Where you at? What corner you on?
we come and
And
pick
we come
you
and
up.
get picking you up.
Yeah.
And if you want help, but my thing is, I can't take you for free. Do you got Social Security disability? No. Have you tried? No. Okay, let me
Let's
send you
go.
to
Right.
MetroCare. Let's come on. I'm sit down at MetroCare Services because you had a mental illness. When the last time you've been to a doctor? And make something happen for them. Make sure if they want help, I'm gonna help you. If you don't
Right.
want no help, I used to try to beg people to let me help them because I see them in a bad situation. Now I said, if they don't want my help, I'm not gonna help them. I'm
Yeah,
gone.
don't
Bye.
even-
I got somebody else that want my help that I have to give my time to.
Right.
Because my time is, so precious to me now.
Sometimes they don't want the help.
They don't.
They're not ready.
Yeah, I was about to say that they're just not ready.
They're not ready.
But you
They
ladies,
eventually call.
but you ladies, I appreciate y'all coming out here. Please plug in all of y'all social media outlet, website outlets, anywhere where the audience can reach y'all and get that information personally by you guys.
Okay. My name is Miss Sandra Hart. I'm the owner and founder of Hart Referrals LLC.com. And also Hart To Home Texas, our nonprofit organization. Go to our website, our social media on Facebook. You can call me personally at 972-869-1185. My business office is Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. And then if you want to do headshots, videos, any weddings, all that above, we got 360 cameras, we got photo booths, we got a studio to take your pictures. So call me at 972-869-1185. I work with Stars of Dallas and A-List. So let's partner up in Miss Tanisha.
All right, I'm Miss Tanisha. I'm owner of Edwards Housing. You can find me on Google, Edwards Housing LLC. I have the number that's located under, but if you do need to call me personally to get some assistance, you can call me at 972-209-6437. We also have the Edwards Housing Incorporated nonprofit that is sitting on Google as well. Once you look it up, it's going to come on that page. You can also go to shelterlistings.org. I am sitting on that page, and I'm also listed in the 411. So give me a call if you need some help, need some services, and we're ready to serve you and help serve the community. Thank you.
I was wondering if I can do a shout out.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
I got an artist. His name is Leo the Lion, and he just had a baby boy. I'm so excited. Congratulations to that. And then today he sent me a picture of his music on the radio. He's been trying to get on this radio for 12 years, y'all. 12 years. So 3 days after his baby's born, his music is on the radio. So congratulations,
Yes,
Leo.
congrats,
I'm so
Leo.
proud of you. And also Christina Lux, she's a Latino artist that I work with. And Dino, I am Dino. He's a music artist I work with as well. Thank y'all so much for working hard and never giving up on your dreams.
Yes.
Congratulations, my team. Thank
And
you.
congratulations to them. You can also reach me on Facebook, An Hour with Crowder, Instagram, An Hour with Crowder, and on Twitter, Crowder the Great. And we are out, ladies.
Thank you so much for having
Thank
us.
you, thank you, thank you.